How's it going, friends? How you doing? Hey, all right, we're here. Today we're going to talk about an extremely important issue. In fact, I know it's kind of dramatic for me to say it, but I'm going to say it. This might be the most important podcast we've ever done
Jeez,
that
that
you've
is
ever heard.
dramatic.
It is. I kind of get weird. I get a little dramatic sometimes, but I'm kind of serious
Yeah.
because I want you to just think for a second. Whether you're wherever you're listening to this, whether you're driving in a car or in your kitchen, or you're just on a walk or a run. First of all, thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for leaving us positive reviews on Spotify and Apple Music. Means so much. So please do that. But here's what I want you to do: take a few deep breaths and answer this question for yourself. Like, who are you? What's your
Wait, hold on,
identity?
pause there. Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Who are you?
who are you?
Jeez, I don't know. Who am
Who are
I?
you? What is your identity?
When's the last time someone asked you that? Who are you? Like, oh, I'm Sean. Yeah, but who are you? Well, I do this. I didn't ask you what you do. Who are you? Are you what you do?
Mm-hmm.
This is a good deep question. Who are you? Am I like I can't answer for myself
Who
even. So I'm
are
like, man, I'm
you?
a father, I'm a husband. But yeah, I'm part of those things. But does that define who I am?
What's your identity?
Right.
And where did it come from? How did you come to your identity?
Right.
Are you what you do? Are you the positive voices in your head? Are you the negative voices in your head?
Right. If you made mistakes, does that define who you are?
If you ask your child right now, who are you? What would they say? How are you doing building identity in your
Into your
child?
kids. Right. So today we're going to talk about different topics, how using identity words are important to our kids, these identity routines, all right, identity responsibilities, identity repair conversations, identity belonging rituals, which we'll get into each of those categories, but it's all about this idea of who we are, this identity question you brought up in us, which is a good one.
Let me try to get a shovel out and just go even deeper.
Okay.
So much of what we think about parenting is like, oh, I want to raise great kids, or
Yeah.
how do I get my siblings to love each other? Oh my gosh, how do I get this kid to do his homework? How do I get this kid to brush his teeth? How do I get this kid to make sure he doesn't do vaping or smoke pot? But let's go a little bit deeper. Like today, this is why today I want today to be special. What if today is not just about like putting out fires or like thinking about our kids' behaviors? Today is actually something deeper. It's about how do we raise children who view themselves in such a great positive light that they view themselves, that they create an identity, and you help with that
Yeah.
in a way so that they really feel a certain way about themselves, their existence, their family, their purpose in life. Because if you can raise a child who has a deep seated, strong, healthy identity,
All right.
can you see how you don't have to really worry about that kid's behavior?
I
You
could see
feeling
that.
me?
I
It's
do
pretty.
feel you. But I think this episode is geared towards us making sure we have that sense of strong identity into our kids, but maybe we don't even have it ourselves as an adult. So really, this could teach us something as well
Deep.
as the parents.
I haven't thought about that. You're right. I didn't.
Because
I
if
didn't
you don't
plan.
have that, how are you supposed to teach that to your kids?
My gosh.
And maybe it's a self journey where we're learning as we're teaching. We're learning as we go, man.
That was so good. That was so deep. You have to just sit when you say like really deep, amazing things. I just want to sit on it and think about what you said. You don't know what you don't know. You can't teach what you were never taught. How do we build identity in our children if our parents struggled or even failed at building a good identity in us?
How many clients have you had where you've had to teach the parents what you're trying to teach the kids?
Many.
Probably a lot, right?
Here's an example of why I want to do today's episode. A 27-year-old woman called me for a consultation call 2 nights ago. I was driving home from Napa, which is only about an hour and a half from our home, because my wife, Danielle, and I, we went there for a little anniversary getaway to Napa
anniversary,
Valley.
That's
Thank
cool.
you.
Yeah.
22 years. I've been sober for 3 years, and Danielle's doesn't drink for the last year or two. But we go to Napa Valley anyway.
Dude, that's awesome.
Because it's
Beautiful.
Napa. It's so beautiful. We got the pastries, the matchas, the nice fine dining, and we just relaxed. And we've been to Napa so many times. We just settled into our resort, which is absolutely incredible. And we just snuggled up and just hung out. So long story short, this 27-year-old woman calls me for a consultation call. She wants to inquire about working with me. But she says, hey, just full disclosure, I'm not calling, I don't have kids. I'm calling about my siblings. And it's actually such a good call. It's such a juicy phone call because I talked to her for 30 minutes. I wish I had the time to tell you, but here's the gist of it. She called about her 16-year-old younger brother who lives 2 states away, who is homeschooled, and he's so mentally ill with anxiety. He's so messed up. He doesn't leave his bedroom, Jordan. He's so screen addicted.
Does this kid live with his parents?
Yes.
So this lady who called you is actually an adult now. She just lives away from
27-year-old
Oh, that's right. 27.
sister
Got it.
calling about her 16-year-old brother who she lives 2 states away.
Right.
And she asked, can I pay you to work with him? Can you help me? I feel so powerless and scared.
Yeah.
Very nice of
That's
her.
very nice of her.
And essentially, here's some of the takeaways that I said. I said, okay, this is really not about your brother. You don't need me to work with your brother. It's your parents who have serious problems here.
Was that like an aha for like, oh, he's right? It was? Huh.
And here's the good news, bad news is that if the parents are not ready to make changes, if they're so stuck in their fear-based ways or they're stuck in enabling, your brother he could end up 10 years can pass and he's going to be 26 doing the same thing. Maybe working part-time at some gas station. But have hope. There's some things you can do, and I'm definitely not going to let you hire me. I'm going to give you some free advice and show you what to do, and I'm going to give you some free coaching right now. But here's the issue, and I'd love to get your take. The issue is not that your brother is screen addicted. The issue is that the deep issue, and it's a very bad issue, is that the diagnosis. I'm diagnosing him over the phone. Is that this young man has developed an identity around screens.
Right. As so many of our youth has, right?
Mm-hmm. He's getting his masculinity. He's getting his importance. He's getting his connection. He's getting his dopamine. He's getting, this is who I am as a person. And the parents have enabled this. And so you do not have, on the surface, it looks like screen addiction or it looks like anxiety or anxiety defiance, but it's deeper. It's actually deeper and harder than that. It's that this young man doesn't know who he is and he thinks he's a gamer. That's sad.
It's really sad. And it's got to be sad for the sister. It's got to be sad for you because you see this in our youth
all the time.
So
sad.
And it goes back into what I'm saying, like, as on a deeper psychological level about these parents. Like, do they even know what their identity is? If they aren't teaching it right, I mean, the sad thing is so many of Americans, I should say this, so many people in this world are in this position right now.
Yeah.
It is terrifying. Yeah. And obviously you can't just tell people, put the screens away. It's much deeper than that, you're saying. It's way deeper.
Good news. One of my clients in the VIP membership, he took my advice, and his I think 11-year-old son was just having major outbursts constantly at the house. But at school, he does well. And I said, I think the deeper issue here is that this young man has developed an identity around Fortnite, and this is who he thinks he is. And he's like so obsessed with this game. And so do X, Y, and Z, and we're going to help him build an identity. and into healthy things, into healthy masculine things, and it's worked. It's worked. He's like 40 days later, he's like a totally different kid. So you
40
can do
days
this.
is all it took?
We actually would have taken a lot quicker, but
Really?
the parents struggled to take my advice because
Yeah,
they
I
were so
know.
afraid.
I know.
They were so afraid of if I did what Sean tells me to do, then this is going to happen. So
Yeah.
it takes time for
But
sometimes.
that's amazing. It gets
No,
done in
normally-
40 days.
It doesn't normally take that long if you have strong, good parenting,
All right.
courageous parenting.
So for anybody listening right now that's in a situation where they're like, I want to be better at creating a good identity for myself and my kids. Where do
Let's
we
do
start?
it.
Where
Let's
do we
start. We've got,
This
so
is
we have
tough.
5. Okay. Thank you. I hope I didn't lose any of you just talking about those intense stories, because this is real.
It's sad.
And we want to build healthy identities in our daughters, and our teen daughters, and our teen sons. So here's where we're going to start. We're going to start with you, the parent, and how you use your words. So Jordan already mapped out the table of contents for today's episode. We're going to start with this. One of my most viral series of videos that I make has to do with how to speak identity into your kids. And in that theme, if you've seen it in my videos, I'll say things like this: a parent's words are powerful. So if you're a very talkative person, if you're very good at your words, talking to you comes naturally, yay, that's great. Then we want to make sure you don't say stupid stuff, horrible stuff, demeaning stuff. We want to help you control your tongue, because the tongue is like a fire. And if you're a more quiet person, if you're not as gifted at speaking, if you don't know what to say sometimes, we want to give you the courage and the enthusiasm and some of the scripting to say, use your words. A parent's words are powerful. So I'm going to give you a few things, a few scripts right now on what you repeatedly say can become your child's identity. And you're going to speak identity into your kids, because your voice is the most powerful voice in the world. So you've got to use it, and use it well. Okay. Before I tell you, did I get a little intense there? Or did
No,
you
you were
think that
good.
was helpful?
That's very
Too
helpful.
much?
I'm just wondering, is it like, okay, so just stay positive?
No.
No, okay. So I was like, okay, yeah. Like, yeah, you could do it. But no,
Right.
you really can't.
Right. So
got this.
how do we use our words to build identity? Is it
You're so strong.
is it just cheerleading?
Right. That's what I'm
Like,
wondering.
yay,
Like, yay.
you can do this. Right?
Right.
Let's talk about it. So, okay. How does this sound to you? Hey, you're the kind of person that keeps going even when it's hard. Hey,
Oh, that was deep. That was so much better than like, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, sure you can.
how about this? Let's say your last name is Peyton. Hey, you're a Peyton. You're a Peyton. In this family,
Yeah.
this is what Peytons do.
Yeah.
We keep going. Hey, you know what? You're a Rana. And in this family, in the Ranas, we love other people. We don't judge other people that are different than us. That's what the Ranas do. And you're a Rana,
Right.
right? All right.
If you're an Ely,
yeah.
if you're an Ely, you say, Ely's finished strong.
Yeah.
Well, Ely's finished strong.
Yeah. Yeah. How about this? Hey, you're a John. You're a John. In the John family, I've got brothers, and this is how we were raised. And now you're my son, and you're the next great John,
Yeah.
a John man. And this is what we do. We balance our lives. We have fun with screens, but they don't obsess us. You know, we balance our lives. That's what we do in the John family, right?
Right.
I'm
See,
Nate
I like
John,
that. I
and
like
you're
that.
little John, and you're gonna have a John, and we keep going.
Now, is there a balance? Because this is all really great and deep, but like I'm thinking now on the next level, like, all right, I'm a Johnston, and we're plumbers. This is what we do.
Oh, one of the world's best, most important professions. I love plumbers.
That's so true.
Seriously,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, we could not have a society without plumbers, by the way. They are,
so true.
if you were standing on a desert island with 100 people, the first person you should ask, who here is the plumber? Who's getting us water? Who's having us hygiene? Shout out to all plumbers. I love the plumbing profession.
But
Yes,
the
keep going.
But the difference is like, I don't want one to come across as like, this is what we've always done in this family, so this is what you better do.
Oh, you're talking about
Right?
duty, shame.
Right, dude, yes, because this is different what you're saying. You're
Yeah.
building this strong identity into this person, this kid, instead of like This is what it's always been like. And gosh dang it, you're a Johnston, and this is what Johnstons do, right? And you're like, well, hold on,
good.
I'm my own
What a-
person.
What a brilliant thing to say that you just said that. It's like really good that you said that.
Because it is different. What you're saying is there's so much more finesse. That's why you're so good with your words. A lot of us aren't good with our words. It's hard for me to build this identity in such a deep meaning. But when you say it, it makes so much sense.
Hey, we don't give up. And look at you when you went through that soccer game.
Never give up, never surrender.
Jordan's making stupid hand signals. That's from Star Trek.
I know.
Jordan did this
I'm
Spock.
just teasing.
Is that from that movie with
Galaxy
Tim Allen?
Quest?
Galaxy
Yeah.
Quest. So let's say your daughter did really well at a soccer practice, but she's having a hard time with her homework.
Right.
And you can speak identity, say, look, we don't give up at hard things. Remember at soccer, you didn't give up there. And so that's not what you do. You don't give up when things get hard. So remember at soccer, and then you can do that same thing here with your homework, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I know it's tough for you to manage your emotions around your brother, but that's what you do. You're a person of self-control. You can do this. You manage them here. Mm-hmm. You manage them here. And then especially you want to speak this way to your child. Let's say your child struggles with angry outbursts. So instead of saying, gosh, you have an anger problem, you need to get therapy, right? You say, look, you're a person of self-control. I know you can manage your anger. You're getting better at it. You're working at it. I'm going to help you with that. So you want to speak directly into the areas that they're struggling in.
Right. So This did not happen last night when we were doing a family game night at my house.
Oh.
Okay. We were playing Chameleon, which is awesome, by the way, if you're looking for a fun family game. No affiliation, but it's just fun. And so you've got, we had four players, me and my wife, my two kids. Kinlan was rolling the dice, which was great. And one person is the chameleon, and the rest are talking about a topic. And you have to try and figure out who the chameleon is by we're just like giving clues and ideas. Well, my daughter was like giving away the clue. Let's say the clue was London or the UK. Oh, sorry. Let's say the clue was the UK, right? So she'd be like, our friend down the street is from there. And we'd be like, yes, we know she's from there. You just gave it away. So
But isn't that the point of the game?
No, the point is to give clues, but not to give away the answer because we're trying to figure out who the chameleon is. So you would say like, it's across the pond. And then you'd say, they have a king and queen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're saying different clues, but she would just give it away. And instead of building confidence, be like, hey, I know you're trying to do great. Instead of building an identity into her, I was like, gosh, you keep giving it away. Like, why am I even playing this game? Like, this is so, like, it's not worth my time, And then I turned into a whole me issue. And then it got into where I had to apologize. So I think what I'm trying to circle around and say is in these moments where you're trying to speak identity, they can be very hard for parents too. You have to keep your cool. You got to keep your cool.
Wow. That's a good story.
I don't keep my cool often.
I think I did the same thing last night. We were in Costco as a whole family. Fam Jam was there. And we were letting the kids pick a lot of the foods that they want, especially like our 20-year-old's almost 21.
Right.
And so, we were having a good time. And sometimes we've been really strict with what the kids put into the Costco cart. But last night we were just kind of being chill. And and one of my daughters, she put in a huge thing of salami. Huge. The biggest they have. Right?
Love me some salami sandwiches. Okay, keep going.
So good. But my wife, she says something like,
are you going to eat that?
Why salami? Why not turkey? Something healthier. And then I opened my big stupid mouth and I was like, I know, it's like one of the world's least healthy foods. And then the young woman, I won't tell you the age of her, she actually handled it very well.
Really? Good.
She was like, guys, okay, I know what I'm doing with food. I don't need your 2 cents. Okay, I got this. Okay, I don't eat salami 7 days a week. Okay, just chill out.
Right.
And What's so funny? Why is
Everybody,
that?
we always judge. It's like, why do we always have to
Right.
judge? Like, just let it. They wanted to get it. It was
Right.
like, okay, have a salami sandwich.
And as soon as you said that, I said, you know what? I'm so sorry. You're right. I'm so dumb. I really apologize. I was being sincere too. I should not have said that.
That's
Like I
we
should.
always have to put in our 2 cents and stuff. It's like,
Why
we
did
don't
I
have
say
to.
that?
Let's
Right.
just-
I'm just so. I really regret saying that. You know what? You're a young woman. You're doing great with your food. You don't need this negativity from me. I'm really sorry. I'm really serious. I said it to her. I'm really
That's good.
serious. And she handled it super well. But it was like the thing. I could have just kept my big mouth shut, or I could have said something like, you know what? I love salami too. You make great food choices. I would love to have a little bit of that salami because it's like 2 freaking pounds of Costco. And so let's get some salami and live it up. I could have
better.
said something like that, but see what I said right there. You make great food choices.
Yeah.
You're doing well. Even if
Speaking
she
identity.
doesn't
Yeah.
make great food choices all the time, which she doesn't
Right.
because she's 20.
Right.
You know, I could have said that. And it's like I'm building that identity into her. I'm a person who makes good food choices because this is the psychology. You can't, let's pick a sport. Let's go. I like to pick skiing when I say this analogy.
Okay.
If you have a skiing coach or a parent teaching you how to ski and they're constantly like, gosh, you are not good. You're never going to become a good skier if you keep doing this. What is your problem? You don't know how to turn.
Yeah.
Then
just have
you
to
can't
believe
be
it.
you can't be a good skier unless you believe you can be a good skier. You can't believe, right? You can't believe you can't do something you can't believe you can't do.
Right.
So to become a good skier, you need a coach saying, look, you're really doing well. Okay, you are really getting this down. You're doing a great job. You are really rocking this. Somebody cheer you on and affirm like you are winning at this.
Yeah.
And so this is why the parents' words are so powerful, to speak identity into their actions. Now, can I transition? I actually asked the internet a question. I said, tell me the research, because I've seen a lot of back and forth research on this topic. Is it good and positive to tell your daughters that they are beautiful? I'm not changing the subject.
Yeah, but please don't ask artificial intelligence that.
Well, and I'm looking at scientific research. I asked the internet. I asked,
okay.
show
You're
me some
looking
research
for
reports
Okay.
on is it healthy to praise your daughters on their looks.
All right.
Before I tell you what
I'm
the internet
intrigued. I'm
says,
intrigued.
you have a negative look on your face.
Because you could find a study that can
I know,
go with
yeah.
anything you want. You could find a study that said it says it's good if I say it, and then another study said it says it's bad if I say it. So like I don't know if I even care what the internet says, but I'm intrigued. I want to know.
I like your attitude. I really do.
does it say? What does it
Why
say?
don't you care what the
Because
scientific research
it's
has
because
found?
I don't need all of these quote unquote studies to tell me what I feel is right or wrong about the way I'm parenting. If I want to say my daughter looks beautiful, I'm going to freaking say my daughter looks beautiful. I'm sorry. I think that's great. As a dad, to say your daughter looks beautiful, that's a beautiful moment. But
I agree.
if I'm thinking, oh my
totally
gosh, but if
agree.
I say it, I'm going to make her think that she's beautiful. I can't make her think she's beautiful. I have to make her think she's ugly so that she always strives to be beautiful. Then there's this whole psychology
know.
thing that's just so stupid.
I had a mentor once a long time ago. He told me you shouldn't tell your daughter she's beautiful. And he had a daughter. And I was like, what? Like, why not? You know?
Yeah.
It comes natural to a good dad to tell his own daughter she's beautiful, build her up.
Right.
Don't you, if she doesn't hear that from her dad, is she going to go and,
Right. What's she going to expect from her future husband? Oh, well, my dad never said it, so I don't expect the guy who loves me to say it. So I don't even know if he thinks I'm beautiful or not. You know, that's terrible.
or what happens when the sleazy seventh grade boy comes
Right.
and is building her up
Yeah.
and telling her she's so beautiful? What is she
Right.
going to do? Is she
That's
going to
so
do some
true.
sleazy stuff?
Maybe.
Right?
So what did the freaking internet say?
Oh, you're all pissed off.
What is
It said what I thought it was going to say, which is pretty complex, actually. And I don't want to spend too much time on it. But here is the simple. It's not a simple yes or no question. Because praising daughters for being beautiful can be really, really positive, but it can also have downsides. And I wanted to ask the internet this because I think that this is really important thing that for many girls, not all girls, and for some boys, they actually build their identity on their looks.
I get that.
and they want to be beautiful. And I think it can be kind of confusing for girls in the world of Sephora and makeup
You're right.
and dyeing your hair and shaving your legs. I think this is like, if you're really thinking about identity and you have daughters, you have to understand this is kind of complex, like their relationship with how they look, right? Don't
Yeah.
you agree?
Yes. Yeah. It has to be a very pure moment. It can't be something you say all the time every day, and then they're like, "Oh, I know. You don't have to tell me because I know I'm beautiful." Like then we get into a different situation. Yeah.
Right. So we could probably do a whole episode on this, but for the sake of time, let me just share a couple little snippets that I got from sites like Psychology Today, BYU Scholars, Biomedical Research Center, University of Sydney. Essentially, it's like a couple things to just be aware of. Is the first one to be aware of is that a core argument is that praising girls mainly for their looks sends a subtle or not so subtle message that appearance is what matters most about them.
Right. I understand. Okay.
Makes sense, right?
Yep. That makes
So
sense.
if you overly praise them for how they look, you look so beautiful,
Yeah.
or that dress looks good on you, but you're not building them up in other areas,
Right.
you can kind of cause some weird damage, don't you think?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay. One empirical study, this is from BYU Scholars, one empirical study found that when families regularly treat the female body as an object, as in
Right.
focusing on appearance, which is funny, this is from BYU because that is definitely one of many criticisms that some people have about Mormons, is that they're so into their looks and making sure they look right, especially women, especially Mormon women.
I didn't
It
realize that.
correlates with lower self-esteem, more shame, and more negative body image amongst girls.
Huh.
So if you focus too much on that,
Okay.
same point, right? There is evidence that body dissatisfaction in adolescence, in the early teen years, can be linked to mental health problems as they get older. But I don't see anything on the research that I found about how, I don't know, my research sucks, actually, I'm sorry, but there's got to be research of like how important it is to help your daughters to feel beautiful
Right.
and to feel seen and to let them know like, wow, I find you beautiful and you're my girl.
Yeah.
And like someone's going to, really want to date you one day because you're just so amazing.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, there's that delicate balance of being a great parental figure, whether it's a mom or a dad, and letting our daughters know this, than to boast it all the time to where they're now flaunting it to other people and looking for that compliment, not from you, but now from everybody else because they've already gotten it from you.
I don't have anything prepared, but what do you think about these sentences? Ready? Hey, honey, I think you're beautiful with or without makeup. And here's the thing. There's going to be plenty of boys out there who are going to fall so in love with you, whether your body looks this way or that way, whether you have makeup on or not, because of you, of just who you are and all the goodness you bring to the world. So if you want to put on makeup today and put a fancy dress on, go for it. There's a time and a place for that, but you don't need to. Like, you are worthy and beautiful just as you are. What do you think about that?
That's great. That's
Does that
amazing.
sound healthy?
That sounds very healthy.
How about this? How does this sound? Gosh, you look so beautiful. Your hair looks beautiful. That dress. I can't believe I have a daughter that is so stunning. Oh, thanks, Dad. Yeah, and just a reminder, the way you look is not really who you are. Looks come and go. And the best parts about you is in your heart, in your character, in your hard work, in your charity, and your responsibility. And so if you want to look beautiful, that's your choice. But that's not really who you are. Who you really are is what's best inside.
You make it so easy, Sean.
I don't know. Does that sound good?
Yeah, it sounds good, but I just, that's like, I've never gone that far. I've always just been like, man, you look so pretty. Like, you look beautiful. And I give her a hug. But I never take it to the next step. Like, what you're doing is building that identity into the next step, which I think you're trying to teach us. Go the next step.
Okay. Good.
It's hard.
All right.
That's great.
Good. I didn't know if that was good or not, so thank you.
I thought so.
All right, why don't we move on to, we talked a lot here today. We're 30 minutes into this podcast about using our words to build up identity, but we got 3 more things that we won't spend as much time on. About, Jordan, talk about identity.
Yeah.
And building identity
Responsibilities, right.
with responsibilities.
Have you ever studied for a test and you've got your book in front of you and you're just trying to read it and memorize it, right? It can be very, very hard, right? So what's
Yep.
better? The next step, read it, memorize it, maybe write it down. Read it, memorize it, write it down. And as you're writing it down, you're actually practicing what you're reading and trying to memorize, and it's going in that much more. So you're actually taking the words and putting into a doing action. So this next one is do the work. Our kids need to do the work to actually help them build this identity. We're talking about beauty, that's different, but let's just talk about an identity of being a strong-willed individual, a hard work ethic, putting in the time to study, right? Some of these things that they actually have to do. So now we're talking about building responsibility by their actions. You give them chores, they are now learning that they can finish a task. You tell them to set up a weekend activity for the family. Now they're figuring out how to plan a day, right? They're actually taking the words of what we're saying, but putting it into action and doing it. So now we're talking about age-appropriate tasks, different roles, contributions to the family so that they can create this sense of competence and character for themselves, right? And then as they get older, especially as they get into the teen years, it'll help them build that identity more and more through their effort and their competence. And they're like, oh, well, I've done this before. I can do this again. Like right now, my daughter is begging me for a dog. We had a dog pass away in 2020. I've had a dog my entire life. I'm like, this is nice not having a dog. She's writing essays about why the dog will be good for him. She's writing essays as to why, we as a family would do better with the dog. And so now I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to figure out if this is going to be good for the family. Well, here's the thing. She's already had a chinchilla for like 3 years. And she's like, Dad, I've already taken care of this. I know I can do it. I will walk the dog. I will feed the dog. And here's the proof. The proof is in the pudding. I've already done it, right? So now she has this identity as like being a good caretaker.
That's good.
And so when it comes to doing things like this, we have to give our kids more responsibility instead of us doing it all the time, because this helps build identity into them over time.
Great stuff. Have you ever seen on social media when there's like a teenager and the teenager presents a PowerPoint presentation to the family?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And does that look cool? Like, how can you not say no to that? Like, that's what your daughter's kind of doing. She's not using PowerPoint. So are you being swayed at all?
100%. We're to the point where now I'm like looking up dog breeds, and I'm like, gosh,
it's on.
Like,
it's on. Yeah, that's what happened to me and a dog too. It's on.
Point.
You're coming back. The dog's coming back because she's clearly coming at you. She's pulling at our heartstrings, and she's practicing responsibility.
Yeah.
Right?
She's taking the effort. That's exactly right. So now I have to look at that and be like, well, dang, I can't deny her this. Like, she's like coming to the table with everything she needs to convince me. And now I'm like, okay, we're going to do this.
Listening to you talk, I just had a flashback to my childhood. It sounds like this: sharp, regular, or no knives. That is something that was said a lot in my childhood home. Sharp, regular, or no knives. Here's why. Because I have two sisters, and my parents, we had dinner a lot as a family, and we were in charge of setting the table. And that's something we would say every night. Whoever was setting the table, sharp, regular, or no knives. And I think back, because we didn't know, what do we need at the dinner table? Sharp knives, regular, or no knives?
Oh, that makes sense.
And looking back, just listening to you talk, I had all these flashbacks. I cleaned a lot of toilets when I was a kid. I had to get on my hands and knees and wipe the bathroom floor. I had to vacuum. I feel pretty confidently that my parents' insistence on me doing all these chores, it really built a lot of character in my siblings and I. It makes me feel bad that I'm a freaking housekeeper,
Yeah.
She comes every 2 weeks, and it makes me wonder, like, am I making a mistake, having a housekeeper?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's one task or one avenue, but you could be making up for it maybe in a different avenue.
We try. But that's the thing, like, if you have a housekeeper or if you have nice things, you have to work extra hard at giving your kids even more responsibility at times. We
You're
all have
not
to we
wrong.
at heart, right? We all
You're
have to be
right.
very intentional, whether you have nothing or you have everything.
Right.
How do we be intentional about responsibility? All right, that leads us into number 3. We talked about speaking identity into our kids. We talked about identity responsibilities, and this one is kind of similar, but let's talk about how to build identity in your kids by giving them identity routines. Here's some ideas. Okay, so beyond your words, which is good, beyond chores or patterns, how can you create new routines in your home that kind of like, this is kind of like what we do in the, low burn home. This is what we do in the Johnson home. They could be things like, having regular family dinners, family meetings. It could be like, doing high lows. It could be like, hey, this is our nightly emotional debrief. This could be about, hey, you read this book, or we're always reading books, or hey, this is what we do with sports. It's all about like, hey, coming together. Speaking of Mormons, Mormons do a lot of amazing things. I'm not a Mormon, but I hear what they do is, they go to a lot of church on Sundays and then they don't work. So Sundays take like a day of rest for the Mormons, where they just like spend time with each other or with their other Mormon friends or their family members. Like, that's talk about a routine, like to bring the family day is Sunday. I mean, routines. Do you have any routines that come to mind that you guys do that like,
Well,
you're
we're
like
so
kind of proud of
busy.
them?
Our routines are Thursdays. There's so many routines of driving around. Thursdays is our day to like sit back as a family and maybe have an off day. And we're dorks. We still watch Survivor with Jeff Probst. Like, we love that show as a
A
family.
lot of people still do.
Like, and so like Thursdays are our nights to do that. That's basically the only thing that we can get that's somewhat sturdy. Every weekend's gonna be different. During the week, we got events for kids, so at least there's that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Church
that's
on
nice.
Sundays, but again, sometimes I'm out of town at work for a weekend, or we have events. My son's getting into gymnastic meet season. We'll be in Knoxville soon. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, what you repeat becomes who they believe they are. So if you have a repetitive, let's pick something really healthy, like exercising as a family. That's something that we've tried to install in our kids, like exercising. If you can build that as a routine, like, hey, this is what we do. We require you to exercise after school sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
this is not, we're not asking you. We need you to keep exercising. That's your attempt at trying to build that routine into them so that they can go into their 20s and be like, yeah, when I was growing up, I had these routines of working out. I don't do it anymore, but I did it as a kid, and that's
why I
their
still work
choice.
out. That's why I
Yeah.
still work out. High school football, I was working all the time, and then I got to be an adult, and I wasn't. And I'm like, how come my body looks different? Oh, because I'm not working out. I got to keep, so I kept doing it.
Totally agree, man. I had a great experience working out when I was in high school, and now I still do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a cool social media that came upon my feed. I can't describe it very well because it was a few weeks ago, but it was a mom, and she was working out with her daughter, and the mom was in kind of good, she was fit, but the daughter was definitely obese. And the daughter was like probably 12 or 13, and she wrote in the caption something like, working hard to break generational cycles with my own kids. And it was just a very classy, well done video, got a lot of likes, a lot of positive things like, hey, this is what you're doing. You're trying to, put new routines. You started with yourself first because she's clearly very fit. And now she's trying to, lead her kids in that same routines. Let's talk about number 4.
Okay. So when we're partaking in trying to build identity, sometimes building identity can come when like what hits the fan. When something happens and there's conflict, and we've got to be a parent, we've got to maybe discipline, we've got to talk about an incident that happened. That can become a part of this identity building process, right? Like those that can form an identity of who they are when things are bad are going to help build it up to becoming so much better as a human being. I was talking to my daughter the other day, and what were we talking about? Something was happening where everything wasn't going right, and it was very hard, and she's like, this sucks. I don't like this. And I said to her, and it's hard with different ages, but I'm like, listen, what's happening right now is a moment in your life that is trying to build you up to be a better person. You have to look at every problem and every terrible situation that you're in. You think the world is going to end because Jessica Simpson in 3rd grade, making that up, said that your hair didn't have natural curls, or whatever it is. That could be something little, it can be something big.
Right.
But I was trying to say, like, when you think the world is ending right now, it's actually a moment where it's making you a stronger person for the future.
Really good.
So how can we teach our kids that A, you can own your mistakes, B, you can repair what you just broke, C, you are worthy even if you fail. Like, if we can do that and help our kids with that, think about how much of a stronger person they're going to be when something really bad happens later in life. They will become unstoppable. All right. So the question is, and you'd be better at describing how to go about this, but it's like in these heart-to-heart moments when something happened and maybe you wanted to give it some time, you're asking what happened, then you ask better questions like, what were you feeling when that happened? You know, when the alcohol was getting passed around and then they started forcing you to take shots and then you got out of control and I had to come pick you up. Like, were you scared? Like,
that's good.
You know,
that's really good.
Do you wish it could have gone differently, you know, and kind of see, you know,
wow,
this happened, you know, and I'm upset. How are you going to make me not upset as a parent? Like, I don't want you to go out now with John Stallone because he put you in a terrible situation. How am I going to rebuild that trust with that person? But
that's
plus
good.
you. I'm making up names, by the way.
No, that's good. Yeah, it's good. I see where you're going with this.
You know, and then
making
you know,
of amends,
making of
repairing,
amends, yeah.
learning from the past, having these
and
hard
it goes
conversations to repair.
Yes. It goes back to us not getting in a heated, you know, mindset when we're trying to have these conversations. We got to be cool as a cucumber, but golly, it's so hard as a parent to be cool as a cucumber when some of these situations are freaking scary and they make us mad.
Here's 2 stories that just happened to me yesterday. And I have to protect my client's privacy. Story 1. On Thanksgiving, 14-year-old teenage girl, parents find a High Noon bottle in her bedroom, empty.
Okay.
They approach her and they find out that she went into the basement by herself after Thanksgiving, after everyone gone to sleep, and she drank it.
Okay.
So when you're talking about identity repair conversations, this is exactly what we're talking about, because our kids' behavior does not reveal their identity.
Right.
This is pretty deep. I said that. I'm going to say it again. Our kids' behavior does not reveal their identity.
Right.
A 14-year-old girl sneaking an alcoholic drink in the basement on Thanksgiving when clearly other people were drinking doesn't mean anything. And so the only way you'll figure this out and coach her through that is what Jordan just talked about. Identity repair conversations like, hey, what's happening? Why did you drink it? Did you like the taste? You know, why didn't you ask me for a drink?
Yeah.
Have you been drinking before? Do any of your friends drink? Why did you pick High Noon? Is it hard for you to see other people drinking on Thanksgiving, but you're not allowed to drink?
Right.
Like working through that tension of, like, I think that's a good example, like, of what you just talked about. Do you agree?
Yeah, you're almost becoming like an investigative journalist, or you're trying to ask as many questions as possible to A, relieve the tension, B, get more of an understanding, but C, almost look at how they're processing these questions and seeing if they actually know the answer, or if they're just like, actually, I don't know why I did that, but maybe make them think too. Yeah.
Because if you look at point number 4, what is written down is identity repair conversations. So you could just go punish this girl. You could just go avoid it. But no, kind of what you're doing is you're repairing. Like, this is not right. I don't want a 14-year-old drinking alcohol, sneaking it. You're 14. So we're going to repair this. Here's a more intense situation. Imagine that you have a son, and he's extremely academic. He's so extremely academic. He wins awards in high school. He goes off to an Ivy League school, and then something happens to his mental health in his junior, senior year of college at an Ivy League school. He starts getting so anxious, and he starts feeling he can't keep up with some of his peers, that he just has a major mental health breakdown, and he breaks down. He can't even go to school, and he drops out of school, and he doesn't leave his bedroom. This is a true story.
Oh my
Just
gosh,
yesterday.
That's so sad.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah. Because
Right.
because sometimes I would say these kids, us people, we get so competitive that we have to try and be the best and the best. And if we can't be the best of the best,
Right.
automatically we're failures. It's like we have
So-
to figure out how to teach them, you're not a failure, but keep going.
Now, can you see how this is not an issue of Ivy League? This is not an issue. This is an identity issue.
Yeah.
Do you,
Right.
you agree with me? You see,
Yeah.
you agree? Something is off with this young man's identity, how he views himself. He needs to reframe how he thinks about himself, his relationship with academics, his relationship with anxiety, and the parents need to get some skills on how they can better speak identity into this young man. You are not your grades. You are not your college. See,
Yeah.
this is going to be especially hard for somebody who probably built his whole identity on his academics achievements.
Right.
That's like saying a professional athlete, hey, you know you make millions of dollars playing a sport, right? But you know you're not your sport, right?
Right. Right.
Well, hey, you're about to retire. So if you don't want to have major mental health breakdowns when you retire, you need to do work on your identity, right?
I was just talking to a guy at my work. I didn't realize this. He was the D1 running back at Georgia Tech. And I was like, my gosh, I knew you went to Georgia Tech, dude. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was like, yeah, man, I played 40 snaps a game. I was freaking
Oh, my.
awesome. I thought, yeah, he's like, I thought I was gonna
40
be pro.
snaps. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, every athlete thinks they're going to go pro, but only a select few does. So then you lose this sense of identity because you've had this sport your entire life. Now you're like, what do? I was football or I am basketball, and now
Right.
I'm not that. So you're almost like lost.
Identity. Number 5, how to build identity in your kids. And then we'll do a little recap, Jordan. We'll do identity belonging rituals. Think of yourself, everybody. What kind of rituals have you set up in your home that kind of send a message to your kids? Like, this is who you are, and you're one of us. And this is what we do in this crew. You got anything come to mind? I got a couple things come to mind, including, this is going to make you laugh. Going to Costco as a family is definitely one of our rituals. And putting stuff in the cart together. That's a fun thing that what we do. That's true.
I'm surprised you still have 20-year-olds that want to go to the store with you, dude. That's pretty cool.
I think it's a ritual. It's like,
I do too, but I don't think that's normal. How many people do you see as a family in Costco that's got 20-year-olds shopping with them?
I don't even thought about that. I just think
Probably not a lot. Just gonna throw that out there right now.
Our 20-year-old, she drove herself there separately. She was coming from
even better,
shopping.
dude. Better.
She met us there, and I had to walk to the front to check her in because it's an exclusive membership.
Oh my gosh, that's even better.
Because it's fun, dude. Putting all the stuff that you want into one cart. Dude, we dropped down like $848 last night, man, at the Costco.
Dude, that's Costco for you, man. That's why I don't go. I probably should because you get some good stuff, but I'm just like, man, every time I go, it's like $500 or $1,000. Here's what I want my identity to be. I want to have this that you're picturing right there that you're doing at Costco, but I want to have my family on the mountain skiing all together.
Yeah, that's good. How about here's 2 things that we have definitely done well. We've made a lot of mistakes with our kids, but one is we've taken them to church just about every week. That has built an identity in them. This is who we are as a family. We're a church-going family. We care about Christian principles and loving your neighbor and praying and being charitable, giving money away, tithing. The world is not just what you see. It's the invisible world. And then also, I shared this before, I think one of the best decisions we ever made in our lives is we bought a boat over COVID. And we became a boating family. Yeah. A huge fan of boating. It is such, oh my gosh, just being on a boat with your family and some friends and just like listen to music. There's no sports. There's no other people there. There's no agenda. You're just out on a boat. I'm on a boat.
Fun. I know. On a lake. It's beautiful. I love it too. I sold my boat, man. I don't have one right now. I'm boatless. I got to figure out a way to get one before next summer.
If you are a young parent or a parent of teenagers, You can go and, you might have to finance it. You can find a cheap boat for 2,000. Whether you have a $2,000 boat or a $200,000 boat, you're gonna have boat problems. It just comes with it. It just comes with it. BOAT, boat, bust out another 1,000. So just enjoy the boat life, and it comes with a lot of hard work, especially like for the kind of the person driving the boat or docking the boat. But it is so worth it. The boat life.
That's good. Rituals.
How about you? You got anything that comes to mind? I talked about church, Costco, and boating. When you think about rituals or routines, you got anything that come to mind for you?
I mean, we do church on the weekends, sometimes like pulling teeth, but it works. And, some of the kids love it, some of the kids don't, but we all go.
Okay. Yeah.
Summertime, we do the boat stuff, but we like traveling together. I mean, we do 1 or 2 ski trips a year, which is great. We visit family. We like going somewhere, fun.
Traveling. You guys
Traveling.
you've done so good with traveling. It's part of your culture.
Yeah, camping. I like getting the kids out camping. Gotten get to the age where it's like, are we still a tent family? Should we move on? Like, do we want to get a camper? But I have a boat. I want to tow that. So anyway, but I like just being a family of doers. So I like just doing, and that's big for us.
You know what? Also, let me compliment you. One of the things that you guys do, not well, but in an excellent manner, you have a culture around the grandparents, the aunts, and the uncles. Strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though you don't live
Right.
next to them, you were intentional about having your kids grow up with their aunts and their uncles. Do you agree? Do you see that?
Yeah, yeah.
And they've
Yeah,
been intentional about traveling to you and about you guys loving each other, even though you don't always see the same way politically or X, Y, Z. There's like a lot of
Yeah.
love and unity in your crew.
Yeah, family's just always been something that we put an effort towards, and it's sometimes it comes with the good, the bad, and the ugly, but it's part of it. It's part of this life. Someone the other day, I was having a family thing, and he goes, well, that's why God gave us friends, to apologize for some of our family. I'm like, it's so
Yeah.
funny. But you know what?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that we have family that can come visit. I love that we can go visit family. I think it's great.
Speaking of that, Daniel and I were talking about you guys because we would like to meet up with you guys at your mom's place in New Mexico, if that invitation's still open.
We'll see. No, yeah, it's always open, dude. Of course. Let's freaking do it.
We'll see. How about we do a recap for everybody?
Okay.
Or a little recap. I'll do mine, you do yours, all right?
Okay.
A parent's words are powerful. Here are some creative ways to build identity into your children. Number 1 is use identity words, which means whether you are talkative or not, find ways of building your kids up by looking right at them and saying, hey, this is who you are. In this family, this is what we do. Hey, I know you can do this because that is the person that you are.
Yes, and take those words to the next level. So the next step is identity routines. We're going to take those words, we're going to put them into action. So we're actually going to create moments for our kids to build up identity in the routines that they do. It could start off with chores. It could start off with maybe doing homework at this time, but they're going to become more confident because they're going to accomplish these tasks, and they're actually going to build up an identity in these routines.
Identity responsibilities. Some of you love doing things for your kids. It makes you feel good. But the more responsibility you give your kids, whether they're 6 or 16, that does something to them that no teacher, no principal, no counselor, no parent can do. Give them responsibilities and keep raising the bar on them.
Right. And when something happens that you maybe have to discipline or punish or teach, we're going to call this identity repair conversations. We're actually going to build identity in our kids as we're doing a parental thing and teaching them about the consequences of their actions. We're going to teach them things like you can own the mistakes that you put yourself into. You can repair whatever you break. You are worthy even if you fail at these things. The way we're going to do this is by asking questions and really getting into the psychology of it to help them build identity in things when it doesn't go their way.
Hey, whether you're a young parent new to this podcast or you're an older parent with kids in their teens or 20s, a great way to build identity in your kid is through identity belonging rituals. So think of the rituals that you can create if you're a young parent. the things that your family does. This is kind of what we do every week. This is the things we do every year. Hey, this is what we do in this crew. We do them over and over, and they're meaningful, they're intentional, and those type of rituals are something that will make such an impact on their kids, they might repeat it with their kids.
That's good. That's very, very good. This has been great.
Hey, I think this is a really important episode. Jordan, thanks so much for just coming and all your wisdom. And thank you, listeners, for letting Jordan and I be a voice in your life to encourage you, support you. Please, if you haven't done it yet, go over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and rate our podcast, and leave a few words of positive feedback. It helps us to grow, help more families. Thanks for listening.